was for higher juicy news. Bima Ubia Kwaba had the latest hot and one Aremeyaw Bravo. Anuti Sonia subscribe to channel idea Bomodia say over subscribe. Aremeyaw Anas say over click a year the subscribe button. Na wabele notification. We are video for be upload no when the first person out was Ebeka a yes video Afenyo we are na like video no give us a thumbs up na fi share ma wo fufro so na when you be here na wo ensem dodo na ra ekoso e wo Ghana memo afintente mara yembura ye ensem a abeto ye pono so eye ya titi edi ensem bi atudwafa ye na Asante Bediatuo ho na yensem re no intente mara yenko na kachi na yekuti ensem ye ya titi edi atudwa inti ye na nsa wono yetiro
wo kuma se no na me no wo fikasim ho no na me pass na Ghana flag is so Fox FM
body
na mo Ghana flag is me pass
na Maria say
I'm telling you yes
keso e Ghana ni
me pe Africa ye nioma
yes
me need ye nioma
na kwasi bruni o de siu ti bai kura so tanshe
on tanshe on kura oba be hu ye de no nani age ho ofra kente ebi kura di fufuo binim di apele kenke benku eni nkruma ebinim kura toto kokko eni bayire
na wo hu say yes China for bi tom abura atoto
yes eni ye ke
omani abre rough
omo to abura atoto da tie me stress am say afere omo jampa waton
oh there
hey Ghana funny rough
but I was a haniska wa ho omo was a hiska wa
na Ghana ska wa ha
yes
na me catch na we say Akufo Addo catch na say yet sika so e come dey ba cho no kra na no
oh yes
it's true Ghana ska wa
na ka sika dudu a ye ka ho asem enye krom ya na generate free
yeah
1000 ghost names enye ba na generate free krom ya
gold for one policy gold dey kwakwaje
oh yeah Gyamfi ya do na Bank of Ghana I governor
yes
and ba cho sika na generate wen
yeah I ska wa krom na ska wa
so nya kro no ni amamu opone
mo eno anu
aka ena du ba bia ya du
eno anu aka no ni po bi aka no kre
hwe
mani obi aka no kre ho
why I Akufo Addo pa de wo hu ya fra kire wo hu ya fra kire o and boy a timing
say binim say a payback say omo papa nom no omo nananom say omo na je Ghana si ho omo papa pa me nkroma ben say
dia de Ghana man work campaign
and from say omo say
Ghana no fa no work campaign
omo say Ghana de omo ka according to the amount for kika de call so na say say papa na na tie
Can Ofori Atta ne Ofori na Akufo Addo ne wo mo ebo kro no wo MPP abamu ya media sika ne hia no mo yenje
and na ye ka say ora na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama report na wo omo nya adwuma ne ntem
me ka report no nyina akosi
omo nya adwuma ne
ntem e bia holiday in na Asante Bediatuo kotoye
okay
international hotel no onya sika wa hina de toss a hotel
na de no kwa de hia woni amanfo edi bi sika amanfo awie bi
me se be so what you say every novelty ya SBA ya eye adwonya sika no wen me ba cho so no ya advisor to president eye adwuma no ya no enti akatua hia no timi je
eno ni asem
no timi ato
no press secretary
oni asem no Asante Bediatuo ya
enti enyo no kwa o Akufo breya na ni fia wa islegon ya breya ewo udimu abiwo udimu ejato ufia wo islegon ani ya chese dollars wo bag bu ya boys idi bi gane ya okwachi wo mo bo wo hanya wo jai boys
politank de
wo se din se
no ejato na se ewo na biwo
se na biom Ghana for header edika
ewo na biwo na jesu wo
okay ti Ghana for mo adwen fa
as a p kraso
na se eno so wo aru so wo so ni nyina ko so wo
you see edoso Ghana tie
no ti bi anya yi na wo ko report police station na wo wi eska na obi
no ko wi se si ada pa wonte Ghana
ye na weekend enti bi say de hia me se sika ne de wo se edi kanje
oh yes I know
de sika ne wo bia wo se
aso mu ye slow kra aso mu ye slow dodo obi ka say
president so mu freezing crofo bi asset fair na omo maka na ye omo de
aso so freezing na omo ba se so aba kwa ba if you ware so aba
waba ena na wo kan say o san ko o si airport wona no kema ena bia na bia na ifo
ma bia ye serious ankesia
na de na ko fa no no me no ko
abi ni video
enya wo no wo twa video
anti waba
no baga waya
mi ameko
obi ka asembi ba sa asem na nipa na kan no NDC nhwe ana His Excellency John Dramani Mama o hwe ma anye ho o si ora na kenken kwa
ntimi kenken kwa
okay enti na make say enti na make say obi okra ya mare wade e na kan sa asem ai wana kan sa asem
na o mare wade na mu no wo mo power de no nyai
na sem kwa o so nya post boy
they were post one ya power in opposition.
Oh, but Ghana, nyame because senya
power in opposition.
Sa Zani pro ya Ghana nka ye kɔ yanim. Yo. Ye weska, ye kase peska ye podunuma Ghana ye obi. Na enso so ekodi nkɔfo bi botom. Obo anu mo a wo power bo success kan wa po bi di ahye n'achi. Na nipa ni bie companies. Aya say sa asoma si dia na enso so politician bi dia.
Na
anu na kana Ghana yankɔ yanim yo.
We a public
real estate mu a
public ade e ba abontin obi eke Eugene ahe one ne yiri ntamu asamba
ye enyoma pie
ankasa brei no o hye da ni ho ho enso obedi Akufo Addo press one ahwan wasisi fi akase nti won de hye
ero de yire na na kan ye and ye nyina ye tse ye am on the pictures here atama na mo ware no kra de ba ye
o de ba ye
am ye hu ba bia no mo tie
wa ba no kra be ka so no kra de bo a ye ma be ma ye no o say enya sem say na no was kan kwa ye no ade no was kan kwa ye no ade asem na aka no was kan o say ya wade ma sem kra pa
eno no nye ya asem
no was kan kwa ye no ade
ye no ye ya asem ye ma
yes ya na yire ka se no ni ka pre
no eno de wi na do sika kwa bo akunu no ye ho ade no ye fa ye ho be
na ni na ya odie
ense da ade mu
obi di ni sika kwa ye be ma ho ade a kwa ye no eno ya wu case because me when it comes to people private issue
and no crowd in head and yes
I'm interested so say me who say crofo ti me di crofo si wa come asem wa let me feel it odd
yes
made me interest yourself so what bo mine crofo
ye kwa mane japade no so ba no woni hwe
yes ni an crofo di atoto so
ai ene ko so Ghana
me I'm not against obi successful
no do so be
anya hwe wonya wo fie ba ko bi
yes wonya aka
anya hwe wutimi hwe wo ma wonya wo ka kurukuru wa ba
ya wo de koba
na eni bre
greediness ene wa kan
ntini pada se ni pese onya fie be ye 10 na wo de wo ahemu na abeda
na wonu ya so be no obre Baba pa yemfa de boka cha no na
no ka kira yes one house
yes
one man one and na mo pesa mo fa kwa mi so kato saje fo dota kwa ma so na so mo bua ye na pie
uko obi fi a woni ka asegu na mo of course
bebrebe chesa krono ne de na me ne ha ye man
me de senka yansesa he abusuafuo yi pa mfiri ye so pa kwa principalities fuo yi si yansesa wo mo pa mo man ko pa dia enka Bawumia be wie 4 years nanka Ghana de abose ye to nanka Ghana ne de ka Ghana de nanka sei nanka Ghana pa de nya Ghana bi hwe energy sector makana wa ha se wo yi president Akufo Addo nanka se si nchen ya enipa mienu mu di Ghana bro di Ghana nya eye na po Dr. Metopoku Prempe ene Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia energy sector eka yegu energy sector eka na minority for mashe black akogu parliament eye dede dumso omo yesa dede no they know omunim hawo mo de agu Ghana fo so Afenyo Markins pri nyina pri no say ne yenya no yema no 2 hours na eninsem hu bi opeso ka bia wonken aya black akosi wonu ya na dumso nyina no omunim say senye leader te say President Mahama enka by now Ghana dumso crisis anke wo mu no enye bi ni 3 days 4 days ni ya dumu light 5 hours Nyankupo hu Ghana mabo kwa me yen start ne yenko ye mo president Mahama yini na yen totoa so nko mo ma me se wa ka Ghana ka ye start ye free ho e ka o mine e de ne manya bre na ma kire mu President Mahama ye campaign o committee those days no labor unions ni trade union congress no catch am say aye ba mo ma ye honeymoon days any ade no ne nkrofo kan na no wa madwuma ye ene nipa no kwa wo pe president no munti asem a woka ye bedi honeymoon a day President Mahama swearing in ade chi ya pe ena independent power producers onu amuhia ye won office ha ne office ya wa ya hayi cantonment hayi senso won so ya la bonu ne office ya wa hayi da President Mahama ni swearing in adeachi ya pe anopa ko na wo ye meetings wa ha na chief of staff honorable Julius Dabramu ye engagement meetings wa ha John Jina po ni ye mundi ba na start ye engagement e wa ha meetings no wo tu kwa Nigeria ba na mu fi se Nigeria na no wo ko no e ka wako ye business partners Ghana but in all no osu to opposition ohun so wo minus say ohun so Ghana asay Ghana wo crisis Ghana mu nipa bre wo man mutimamfo brankasa a teacher for bre nurses are suffering teachers are suffering carpenters are suffering students are suffering hairdressers are suffering okay yanko ohun wenyina and was say emprempremu buafo emprempremu Ghana jefo enyi obiade waye bida ono John Dramani Mahama ene betimi aba abegye wo man no no wasiesie wo man no enti said ye di kan ka kire ye say Ghana be ye yie bi mu a ebe teki ye mfisia polepole aduasa 3 decades 30 years no President Mahama say 4 years yen schedule betimi aye
sustainable levels and ultimately eliminated. The financial sector continues to struggle despite the reportedly spending of 29.9 billion on the financial sector cleanup exercise up to date. Scant reserves were also left for debt servicing, despite implementing what may be considered the most severe and distressing sustainable levels and ultimately eliminated. The financial sector continues to struggle despite the reportedly spending of 29.9 billion on the financial sector cleanup exercise up to date. Scant reserves were also left for debt servicing, despite implementing what may be considered the most severe and distressing economic policy in the annals of the Fourth Republic, if not in the entirety of our nation's history. And I'm referring to the domestic debt exchange program. This is in stark contrast to our actions in 2017 before we left office, when we allocated $250 million to the sinking fund handed over to the incoming government to service debts, Ghana's debts. There have been claims that buffers were left for debt repayment, oncoming debt repayment this year. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let me give you the statement of account for the debt service reserve account, which is also popularly referred to as the sinking fund. This fund shows a balance of only $64,000 in the dollar account. $64,000 in the dollar account, and 143 million Ghana cedis in the CD account. The repercussions of the accumulation of debt and economic mismanagement will require extensive work and sacrifice to repair. In the next 4 years, to put things in context for you, Mr. Speaker, in the next 4 years, our debt servicing will amount to 280 billion cedis. And this comprises of 150 billion for domestic debt and 130 billion in external debt servicing. Our catastrophic debt position has also severely impacted infrastructural projects that should have been completed. Currently, there are 55 stalled projects due to the default of debt and subsequent restructuring, with a total value of $2.95 billion not disbursed. The stalling of these projects is expected to result in a cost overrun of about 15 billion cedis. Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding this gloomy background, I remain committed to lead sustainable levels and ultimately eliminate it. The financial sector continues to struggle despite the reportedly spending of 29.9 billion on the financial sector cleanup exercise up to date. Scant reserves were also left for debt servicing, despite implementing what may be considered the most severe.
President Mahama 2017 handing over 7th January. Ne handing over our year Edimana na Akufo Addo Dr. Bawumia. Ni abofu to be a friend say sinking fund. Na sinking fund no the Emma MPP abai no sika na edem na eye $200 million. Sinking fund. Sika na edasa futuo no no eye $200 million. President Mahama said na Akufo Addo edi eja no no eye $64,000. I said that to be said. $64,000 oh. Sika wa mo beto ya wasafu tuo no a na ye $200 million no. After 8 years na Akufo Addo Bawumia ban sika akamu ye $64,000. Cedis so eye 143 million Ghana cedis. Sika no way. Looters akronfo aban omo fesika no ko aside sinking fund no omo bebe to Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund ya na seed money $270 million na dem. Oh Kojo to ya mutu Stabilization Fund $277 million ya mutu ni nyina ekọ wa metuhwe wa enti mo kai Ghana fo amutie mawie yi mi Facebook fo mo amuhwe mi wo CTV mo ate se makasa ade wo ha se na Akufo Addo Bawumia ban emeka nchira Ghana fo because President Mahama for 8 years in opposition they were consistent. Say Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund omuje $270 million wom and sana sinking fund omuje $200 million with BOG. And sana your friend is a stabilization fund so omuje $277 million for 8 years they be no mo kan same way 80 MPP are buying so akwa opposition ya gather that momentum no courage no mo mra bonte me kan kire Ghana for say Sanfo to we ya President Mahama boto wono mo a wo kam yensa ni bomu asika na damu nyasem ketwa no omo kone se na omu jaaye ehu bi na President Mahama say sinking fund a omu ja $200 million no omo ja 64,000 Ghana cedis, not even 100,000 Ghana cedis. Hey so Ghana afi enfie 94 years ya every 2025 ekopim 2028 ni 4 years no eka ya obetua debt e be service domestic ni external eye 280 billion Ghana cedis. Na matena no mo so aka na bribia say yes call International Monetary Fund ye negotiations no DDEP debt exchange program ayeye no. So 2022, 2023, 2024 MPP are buying Oman service debt be external debt. See ya swat dollars akwa ne ya creditors ya kwa kotu omo kana omo entua bida. Omo sumsa kana nyina de good President Mahama so ya start etua from this year 2025. Etino omo nesesa na do second term ne de 2021 omo settle kakra no tua kakra na ekọ no omo entua biem but almost sumsa kani nyina dia gu president Mahama ban so yes aka no 4 years ni a car obetua eye 280 billion Ghana cedis. Hey, me say oh we no nka kan first rank o ma mena san krofo we nka o ma mena ye o ma tu agira he ana adwona nka de ade akohye hye o mani na nka do ma kogire gina no ya level so kama yes because untimi your mind population over 3 population guys na on say no 33 million now on say no now on trans na unidi me se we ya and president Mahama akogina ho ye ni abeka sai we do ko president former president Akufo Addo wanu nunu adidi ame ada aba na numa hwewiem adwa wodwen o se bank na wo mu egu no eka ya yes service etwamu 29 billion Ghana cedis se president Akufo Addo former president Akufo Addo ene Bawumia banks ehia 9 billion Ghana cedis ni ade bebo Ghana fo nyuma ho ban ama Ghana fo aye adwuma 9 billion se be invest 9 billion ewo mu no ye gu no ama oman no e ka be to oman no so egusu aye tua eye 29.5 close to 30 billion Ghana cedis. Hey President Mahama waka say we are NI before no instruct wo kwache chenkrofo na me dey nsam keke kan say kura na say o mo da so atete mu fie kura di mi kura na ne ye kura ye start adwa ye bu kura start afu kwa me ye kwa next one afeyentie e car wo beto ye from 122 billion yentie President Mahama say e car na ban aba beto cocoa sector e car wa ba beto ho yentie ni nyina and then Ghana ni bia so nim say cocoa sector ne de omagunu omabomu kro no
Ghana Cocoa Board. The hope of cocoa farmers is also highly indebted. Its balance sheet indicates a total debt of 32.5 billion Ghana cedis, of which 9.7 billion is due to be paid at the end of September 2025. Ghana Cocoa Board. The hope of cocoa farmers is also highly indebted. Its balance sheet indicates a total debt of 32.5 billion Ghana cedis, of which 9.7 billion is due to be paid at the end of September 2025. In 2023-2024 crop season, Cocoa Board was unable to supply 333,767 metric tons of cocoa, which it had sold at $2,600 per ton. As a result, the then management of Cocoa Board rolled over these contracts into the 2024-2025 season. Honorable members, Mr. Speaker, this implies that for every ton of cocoa delivered this year, in fulfillment of the rollover contracts, Cocoa Board and Ghanaian farmers are going to lose $4,000 in revenue. Mr. Speaker, as I address this Honorable House, Cocoa Board has supplied 210,000 tons out of the rolled over contract, resulting in a revenue loss of $840 million for both Cocoa Board and the Ghanaian farmer. Mr. Speaker, Cocoa Board and the Ghanaian farmer will lose another $495 million by the time the board finishes supplying the remaining rolled over contracts. Additionally, cocoa road commitments alone total 21.7 billion cedis, of which only 4.4 billion is included in the total debt of 32.5 billion. This debt has arisen mainly because of the decision in 2019 and 2020 to award road contracts. Ghana Cocoa Board. The hope of cocoa farmers is also highly indebted. Its balance sheet indicates a total debt of 32.5 billion Ghana cedis, of which 9.7 billion is due to be paid at the end of September 2025. In 2023-2024 crop season,
affecting me mood. Into was me Kenya me hona make come home because nyame animu ni 8 years ni pa no ye di ho aboro cocoa board amane na President Mahama elbo na wie isa no cocoa sector ya na ye the backbone of Ghana's economy. Cocoa akuafo edu cocoa season ya no omo kwa na wo mo ba President Mahama se eka ya eda honomo eye 32.3 billion Ghana cedis. Na sa eka we na eda honomo no afi ya September ye e wosi etua 9 billion Ghana cedis. President Mahama ni handing over 2017 na cocoa season cocoa ye produce wa Ghana hase no 960,000 metric tons. 2022-2023 cocoa season cocoa e wase ya toni ye de ko ya kwaji cocoa loan ni ye de bitua ye ho aka no ne ade no ya ntimi enya cocoa ni nyina metric tons do ye de ko no ya shortly best 333,000 metric tons. Ena sa cocoa board papa no ho edu no bo ahin edu oni fifi buafo o man FM guy no a yase ene udu trasa kwa ne mansion to aso sa ene he 333,000 metric tons ho kan nyina no omo sum e de agu NDC aban eso e kan nyina no a President enti me shawa me tise me sister e bisa me sena sika na President Mahama e buru so na debt se sika no wo kwafa na wai me sister for wa was say na President Mahama gina ho no ma na Ghana's debt na cocoa debt na ho debt a wo buru so sa no se sika no President Mahama kwa kwafa no he was na President Mahama den one penny baby antena for wa na kan was President Mahama dey ona asoma no I don't want penny baby antena. Case na ehu o. Eye serious ankasa. Ye kan say ya. Me kai NDC wo position. Na se Kwabena betena ha listo we betena na ye betena. Ha se ni ye kan. Obi gina kire a office wo pese NDC ba power. O pese President Mahama sa ba power. Enti na ebie wani abere a wo kan sembi edigu aban ne so. But and then me pesa me catch wo say Anno Dompreh Afenyo Markins sa micro minority no a omugu ofia na no ma she black no sa report we information when na President Mahama e give you out no enye omo wanwo because omo ya where omo dear President on so omo to one mama ye di na omo nim na omo anka setiri mu no omo ni ewu omani magu ase because omo so omo ne Ghana ndi ne yie omo hu say omo ne Ghana ndi ne yie omani magu ase wo Ghana fo anim enti I'm not surprised say na ubekwa to video bi wo social media na MPP communicator eti station bi MPP station catch President Akufo Addo ni ministers say omo de Ghana for catch up Njoma me pagana fo achew. Kwa me next video na ye nkwene no an ye. Ya magana fo enhunu sade eniema esitie. Ghana fo hunu. Mo ma me energy sector ECG ka. Aje se Ghana han.
After initial assessment of the books, we have discovered that our economic problems are much deeper than was previously known. We have inherited a country that is broken on many fronts. The profundities of the challenges confronting us are staggering. We are saddled with staggering debts and glaring signs of it. After initial assessment of the books, we have discovered that our economic problems are much deeper than was previously known. We have inherited a country that is broken on many fronts. The profundities of the challenges confronting us are staggering. We are saddled with staggering debts and glaring signs of almost deliberate and in some cases reckless mismanagement of our resources. Mr. Speaker, not even the restraints of an IMF program were enough for the previous economic managers to exercise prudence in managing our finances. After setting an inflation target of 18% by the end of 2024, the actual outturn was 23.8%, significantly higher than the threshold agreed with the IMF. The Ghana cedi continued its downward slide, losing 19% of its value against the dollar in 2024. It had already in the previous year lost 27.8% of its value. In addition to the public debt, which amounts to a staggering 721 billion cedis, several state-owned enterprises are also in debt, including the ECG, which owes 68 billion Ghana cedis. After initial assessment of the books, we have discovered that our economic problems are much deeper than was previously known. We have inherited a country that is broken on many fronts. The profundities of the challenges confronting us are staggering. We are saddled with...
They say Ghana, a public debt, 721 billion Ghana cedis. So 721 billion Ghana cedis, almost 121. So what it means is say Oma added 600 billion Ghana cedis. And ediaka the public debt stock no. Almost 121 to 120 billion Ghana cedis. It is what 120 billion Ghana cedis. Edi free a reporter President Mahama Aremeyaw Anas. The otchere say 8 years in no. The Akufo Addo Bawumia ede eka ho no 600 billion Ghana cedis. 600 billion Ghana cedis. Afei ECG ekaya da ECG so 68 billion Ghana cedis. Eka Afenyo Markins aban MPP abro aban etirimodenfo aban mambofo aban Afenyo Markins Anno Dompreh and a black say Ghana yesum because you are witnessing power outages. Ma ban abro etirimodenfo wudifo akromfo aban ECG a car wo mu jade to ho no 68 billion Ghana cedis. Now just even 2024 kran PWD audit ya omo ye no senka ECG sika omo dije the fa account mu kura no account we omo wiawia ne nche nyina anka ho ba account mu kura sika fam 15.8 billion Ghana cedis no senka ECG disas kan nyina akura tuya ya enka ebia nka kan be 60 billion but ye hunu say sika ECG did ye 15.8 billion Ghana cedis no do omu tuya ye eye be 6.3 billion dia kan nyina o mawia enti na me ka kira wo se hwe senka nyankopon na aboa Ghana na ye da ya sorry 7 December na dia be chi ne kwasi ada 8 December na NAPO vice president yami mpengu mabunsam fefra yankopɔ won mpengu ala kiaye yami mpengu ye twam ye du yesu moja twam NAPO energy minister 4 years otu fun yeso obetu fun pa de amount minister otu fun uyu obetu fun no de amount NAPO ye energy minister eka wono ye energy minister no wa brodi egu hono no en ECG kan no 68 billion Ghana cedis also wasape vice president yedi ni akase na po kwa head economic management team say ye jimienti because ye jimi 8 years 2017 ekopem 2024 Is no free 2025 on so. A Jimmy for now, Omudi, yes, one. Ya said Jimmy, ya just yet, yes, Jimmy for the be mad. Ain't in a po Ghana, better or best sorry. 8 December. Nay, actually, Google. Now, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana is Ready Yankupon. The Vice President, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe. Nation in a time 68 billion. Na sa ekawe no. Enye Ghana for na eba betua o. Sika ne sha omo to e wo mo ho sika no e wo mo ho. Na po President Akufo Addo nom Bawumia nom Haptel nom Wamo Dubik Mahama nom emre bia Dubik resign ye. Meni MPP ni bi hia. O se je se Ghana en obi bokro no a. Obi di o man bone a, obi ye criminal. Nipa ni MPP ni no what describe Dubik Mahama so ye criminal. So that guy, he's a criminal. Oni omo cartel ECG one womo bokro no. Na wa ya kwada ya sorry ye Haptel issues ba ye Mahamadu Dubik are resigning. No akwa fie. Under his watch and omu import to container $500,000. Right? $500,000 no womo ema ni si ho no mo aban no confiscate ya obi koto 100,000 Ghana cedis omo fa che koto $300,000. Na obi asori aka kire Ghana ni say President Mahama ntimi njeli obia. President Mahama ontimi njeli obia. How? Say the President Mahama ntimi njeli obia. Mama me national service dia ne yenko. Oh, ye mama agenda 111 mama answer. Mi wi agenda 111 matoa so. Now no energy minister interview ye. O say IMF for proposal so come to ayi. Kania Bómbs 53%. 53% ni ntumu ne hani pa o because me se Ghana ha. Last year 2024, me bill me tua. Many bam ho son from 250 me tua 800. One man can't just so much on Kania Bómbs 1000%. 53% ni ntumu ne ha ye yo. But enenam kwa yisa na egu nkofo account ECG na egu nkofo account mu saa na o maboa no na ya be ka kire Ghana for say ECG de ka 68 billion eye ka da ho because akromfo akatel mama me ekaya ya burusu nyina ye nkofo ye gya nyina hospital ba ko pe 8 years ko man sibi agenda 111 President Mahama say ba ko pe na Akufo Addo so ne last so na waka kire Ghana for agenda 111 wie mu 3 ni predecessor President Mahama so obo papa no mu hia na mu siri hu waboa pani mu odi ntro wo so waboa.
The Agenda 111 program, which was started as a knee-jerk reaction during the COVID-19 pandemic, when the Ghanaian public had begun to appreciate the significant investments that the previous NDC administration had made in healthcare facilities, and began to lament the many hospital projects that had stalled under the previous administration, a promise was made to build 111 hospitals. Mr. Speaker, I'm sad to note that there is no dedicated funding source for such a gargantuan project. There is no dedicated funding source for this gargantuan project. Mr. Speaker, for the record, as I speak, not a single Agenda 111 hospital is operational. In any part of Ghana, I challenge you, not one is operational. Mr. Speaker, and it is worth disclosing that $400 million US has already been disbursed under the Agenda 111 project. Mr. Speaker, at a rate of approximately $80 million per hospital, this $400 million spent could have completed and made operational at least 22 of those hospitals. Mr. Speaker, the Agenda 111 program, which was started as a knee-jerk reaction during the COVID-19 pandemic, when the Ghanaian public had begun to appreciate the significant investments that the previous NDC administration had made in healthcare facilities. And began
spend it. And chance no more trade Chadano when she's young. Sika President Mahama say spend it $401 million US dollars. Baako pekura ni one more ye dwuma na na Akufo Addo say we 3. But 3 na also we na so na okoka ye no 8 years. He said ye I won go to aba man kokrafo bia so na medi president o Ghana hanu bi mu. Omo no ho. Odi oya kokrawa no a extra time no wo after 70 years na extra time na dwe papa bia ni nitrim. 8 years o. After say we ja o manika 720 something billion no. Hospital baako pekura wansibi. President Mahama says sika wa ma send agenda 111 no $401 million US dollars no. Agenda 111 baako bia ho ka 18 million US dollars. Enti say we calculate here 18 million US dollars no. $400 million US dollars no was sank ye 22. Baako 22. E was sank ye 10 key operational. Contractor ni wie ya na chese ya teniki nurse for doctor for patients you come na akwa akoye adwuma after see spending $400 million US dollars no baako pe ha Mrs. said akokora bia me di president okrom ha bia mu kwa me ma me fa na wa kokora we bia nya 70 years a wo extra time a wo bona dwen papa bia ndime si we mu na we no ya busua pani obi wu no obedi ade a kokofuo behwe waton abusua fie no waton abusuan sase wo twa tondi ono wo gye na ewu onfo bia ho my last one osi national service scandal no ebi adwane dwane de wo bedwane but wo beba abe fesi yenye energy okay yenye energy wi ana atoa so national service ntina eno ana mitu MDC fo no funu sebo adom na aso hoso. And I dear child for baby, congratulations.
Mr. Speaker, my administration inherited an energy sector on the brink of collapse. It was weighed down by unsustainable debt. This unfortunate situation has led to many independent power producers and fuel suppliers threatening to cease their operations. Mr. Speaker, listen to this. Despite collecting over 45 billion cedis in energy sector levies, ESLA, over the last 8 years, the outgone administration has left the Ghanaian people with an energy sector burdened with a staggering debt of 70 billion. Mr. Speaker, my administration inherited an energy sector on the brink of collapse. It was weighed down by unsustainable debt. This unfortunate situation has led to many independent power producers and fuel suppliers threatening to cease their operations. Mr. Speaker, listen to this. Despite collecting over 45 billion cedis in energy sector levies, ESLA, over the last 8 years, the outgone administration has left the Ghanaian people with an energy sector burdened with a staggering debt of 70 billion cedis as of December 2024. It is of deep concern that several state-owned enterprises in the energy sector are struggling to stay afloat, and unless urgent interventions are made, many of them will go under. Financial distress in the energy sector remains a significant obstacle to delivering consistent and affordable electricity to Ghanaians, and it poses an existential threat to our economy in general. Compounding these challenges, critical maintenance activities such as the scheduled pigging of the West African gas pipeline WAPCO were postponed from 2024 to 2025 without sufficient contingency measures for alternative fuel supply. As a result, my administration has had to swiftly mobilize resources to secure emergency fuel supplies to ensure that electricity generation continues despite the closure of the West African gas pipeline. I have been informed that the pigging exercise will be completed in the first week of March, and once again additional gas will flow from Nigeria. We are anticipating a marked improvement in the power situation once this begins. While the current state of our energy sector poses grave concerns, we must remain resolute in our commitment to restoring stability. I've directed the minister.
And Sana energy sector ESLA. Someone Mr. President Mahama na introduce ESLA. Energy Sector Levy Act. Annually near 3 billion Ghana cedis. Ya the best service debtor energy sector na wo hono mo. En we jai bo for 2020 wo kwai wo sika. 8 years ni ESLA. Ya generate ye 45 billion Ghana cedis. 45 billion Ghana cedis no. Eka ono beto ye 70 billion Ghana cedis. Na wanya bibia ma wase gya abo ne koro no. Na Akufo Addo. Tiswan paase onipa ba. Si wanya bibia ma wase a ye gyan ebo ne koro no. ESLA wa be 8 car watimi anya film 45 billion Ghana cedis. Wodi yanka fa bi kura anka ho ana wodi 45 billion ka gya bi. Eka da ho ye 70 billion because ESLA no odi akosi awowa akoji hu sika aspanda ESLA no akosi awowa ji hu sika o yes sika no so a ubisa so de ye da ya radio wada anu mununu rada adwen awodwen suma hu se ne sitie enti energy sector we ECG 68 billion na wo ba energy na nsumu nso a eno so no mo ye ka road contractors over 20 billion. Na ka bebrebe nti mo be cha magana fo na etu ya na se ka bebrebe ya mo brusu ya brusu kwe ni ya brusu se ya brusu sen. President Mahama say national service fo na adwane ebi adwane Mustafa Yusuf onwane okọ parliament po onwane ye na bi onwane ye Ghana ha o say si be former KM mayor onwane ye Ghana ha ababa wa no nkwan gift wa na adwane obi anwane osiso ofa Togo ofa Benin ofa mikro malata opekro no nkofa Kuwait opekro nfa Pluto obeba ababe fesi Ghana mra
yo wait for winning and somewhere about beto yepno so because so when you subscribe to channel idea Bawumia say obe subscribe na wa like video and give us a thumbs up na fi share ma wo foforo so na when you be here na wo hu ensem dodo na ekoso ewo Ghana memha also betimi otchere wadwen afa ye some we nyina ho ewo comment box ni mo beti mi kabi in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.